we pray.
You said it. Then as I spike it, I'll tell them how...
Season, let us help you give back to home with gifts that inspire new projects.
I was really impressed with the bubble in Orlando. I thought they did an excellent job pulling that off. So there were 8 teams that did not participate in that. So the Knicks are one of those teams, along with the Cavaliers, have been out of the action for 9 months. So they should be eager, percolating, ready to go tonight. So I think we'll see a very competitive contest between the two teams.
Of course, for the Knicks, one of the big stories in the preseason.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Map. Thank you, Ray Maxwell. And now, the starting lineup for the visiting Cleveland Cavaliers. At guard, 6'5" from Houston, number 21, Damian Johnson. At guard, 6'1" from Vanderbilt, number 10, Darius Garland. At center, 6'10" from Connecticut, number 3, Andre Drummond. At forward, 7 foot from South Sudan, number 14, Fawn Maker. And at forward, 6'6" from Auburn, number 35, Isaac Lamoro. The head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, J.B. Bickerstaff. And now, please welcome the starting lineup for your New York Knicks. At guard, 6'7" from Duke.
Starting lineup tonight. In only 4 preseason games, these games take on a little more significance for some teams that are trying to figure out, as we have a whistle away from the ball already.
Also for these two teams, Mike, considered the worst teams in the league starting this season, folks. Cavaliers only won 19 games last year, the Knicks 21. And the prognosticators in Vegas have given the Knicks and the Cavaliers 500-1 odds of winning the championship this season.
Okoro picked up that foul that time. But again, both of these teams are still trying to figure out who's going to start, especially the Knicks. There's so many spots, as Tom Thibodeau has talked about. And there's the impressive rookie. So there are jobs to be won over the next couple of games. Mitchell Robinson gets inside and misses the layup. Drummond with the rebound. Of course, the center position, one of those, Nerlens Noel and Robinson both battling.
Drummond was warming up, folks, doing this prior to the game, shooting the 3-ball.
Well, that's today's NBA. There's even the big men now practicing quite a bit. Elfrid Payton gets in the paint, flips it up, shot no good. Robinson, the offensive rebound, gets it right back to Payton. Scoop layup off the glass. Nice play from Payton.
Right. Payton swooping and hooping, so they need him. He's the key to, I think, to the Knicks being the orchestrator. They need a guy that can break down defenses, dish the ball. He does that well.
Okoro with Barrett right up into him. Shot clock down to 8. Here's Garland. Garland throws it up off the glass and banks it home. Darius Garland, the second-year guard out of Vanderbilt, had his ups and downs as a rookie, but had some real offensive talent.
Yeah, but he was the 5th pick overall in the first round last year. A disappointment. Only averaged 12 points a game, about 4 assists.
Of course, you see out there, you saw in the starting lineup, an old familiar face, not so old though, as Randall knocks down his first shot. Damian Dotson is getting the call. I'm not sure if he's going to start. Most likely will not start for them, but they expect him to be a part of the rotation, the former Knick.
Yeah, he won't beat out Kevin Porter Jr., who's having personal problems while he's not starting. But Dotson averaging 10 points a game.
Drummond throws it up, gets hit. Robinson picks up his first foul. And Andre Drummond, the veteran who was born in Mount Vernon, New York, with a chance for a 3-point play.
And Robinson, to me, Mike, has been a disappointment. I have not seen improvement. Still very foul prone. And obviously that's what's bedeviled him since he's been a Knick. So Drummond looking to capitalize with the old-fashioned three-point play.
Well, Tom Thibodeau has said exactly what you talked about, Clyde, in terms of he sees so much potential. He says he's an elite shot blocker, great offensive rebounder, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And Robinson, according to the coaching staff, has been working hard. Garland called for the reach-in foul there.
Garland 6'1", so Payton 6'3". Sexton is not here tonight. Sexton normally and Garland, they were the worst defensive backcourt in the league last season.
Yeah, Sexton has had a sprained right ankle. He was warming up before the game, but they knew he wasn't going to play. Both teams, as Bullock drills his first shot, and the Knicks have a couple of guys still out. Austin Rivers with the groin injury. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist with the illness. Frank Ntilikina not playing, a sore Achilles, but most of the injuries are not considered serious. They're just being cautious, as Thon Maker, in his first year with the Cavs, misses that three-pointer. Randall gets good position down low and goes right at Maker. Good, impressive move.
And right away, Payton exploiting that play, seeing Maker. Maker's a 7-footer, but you see how thin he is, so he was posted and toasted that time.
Drummond calling for the ball. Single coverage against Robinson, and there's two quick fouls on Mitchell Robinson. Drummond has something to say to him as well. And another chance for a three-point play.
This is what we alluded to, the hacking and whacking by Robinson. But watch Drummond, folks. This guy is 6'11", 280 pounds. Look how elusive and abusive he is. Amazing grace, though. A little deja vu from the line for Drummond.
He was acquired last year in a trade with Detroit. Didn't play a lot of games with the Cavaliers after the trade. Only 8 games with him, as Lonzo Spellman getting some time here early on, with Mitchell Robinson getting in 2 quick fouls and Nerlens Noel out with the injury.
Look at Drummond. This is as thin as I've seen him, Mike. So this is also a contract year for Drummond, folks. Only making $28 million this season.
Well, he said his goal this year is to be the defensive player of the year. He's never been known as a strong defender. Spellman, meanwhile, known as a good shooter. His first shot, though, well short.
Spellman aiming that shot, not showing confidence in his shot.
Quickly down the other end. Nice block from Payton as Garland tried to take it to the basket.
Yeah, I've liked Spellman, Mike. They talk about his lack of being in physical condition on Spellman, but a good block by Payton. We mentioned he's 6'3", Garland 6'1".
Amari Spellman played last year with Golden State and went to Minnesota, although only played in the G League as the Cavs turned it over. But he's a good shooter. Had some nice games with the Warriors. Pass inside. Randall couldn't hit it. Late whistle, but a foul. Another one against the Cavaliers.
I've watched Barrett, folks, the last 2 games. He's in the paint quite frequently. He's got to start looking to score rather than dish. Once you get inside that free throw line, man, look to score. So he's been very unselfish, but sometimes he costs the team with turnovers. This time the beneficiary is Randall going to the line for 2.
Okoro, the rookie, picks up his second. And as Randall, that one rattles in and out. Randall did a good job getting to the free throw line in the game on Sunday. 12 free throw attempts.
I'm baffled, Mike. He's one of the few Knicks stars that has been maligned by the fans. He led them in scoring and rebounding last year, 20 and 9 respectively. But fans still think he hogs the ball. He turns the ball over too frequently. He should be coming off the bench. So it's really baffling why they haven't not taken to his game.
Well, this year, with the makeup of the rosters, we have a foul called on Bullock. His scoring is going to be essential. The Knicks do not have a lot of big-time scores right now, hoping some of the young players develop into that. But for them to have a chance to win, they'll need his scoring. Now, Tom Thibodeau also talked about he has to be more efficient. There were a lot of turnovers last year and sometimes inefficient games, but he put up good numbers offensively. Okoro.
Okoro's more of a defensive player, folks. That's the first-round pick out of Auburn. But when you're uncontested, as he was that time, that helps your shooting.
Well, they're marveling at how well he's shooting the ball. 63% through the first 2 games. Granted preseason, granted just 2 games, but he's looked confident shooting. Drummond the outlet.
You have numbers if they hurry.
There's Damian Dotson. Pass inside. Gets to Thon Maker. Spellman tries to stay with him. Count it. And the foul on Maker with a chance for a three-point play.
Maker, the 7-footer. Spellman 6'9". So let's take a look at the action. There's the post and the toast. The ill-advised foul sending them to the line for one.
Spellman had his back to the ball, and so it was easily, and you don't see that pass made very often, cross court under the basket.
Yeah, good outlet pass by Drummonds to ignite the transition, so the Knicks have to get back on the D.
Maker, who signed a one-year free agent deal, able to hit that free throw to complete the three-point play. Cavs now up by 4.
Payton trying to get the Knicks into an offensive set. And we mentioned Okoro's defensive prowess.
Well, there's the turnover with Randall with a bad pass right into the hands of the Cavs. Okoro able to race down the floor and draw a foul.
We talked about Randall and his propensity for turnovers. And we talked about this man's defensive prowess. So he's the recipient as he wheels and deals to get to the line for 2.
Knicks have 5 fouls in the first 4 minutes and 19 seconds. Now, Okoro, he's not even going to be 20 until next month. Played just the 1 year at Auburn, and some consider him by far the best defensive player coming out of the draft. He averaged just under 13 a game for Auburn last year. He was born in Atlanta, Clyde.
Yeah. So has 4 consecutive points now. Well, make it 5 after the 3 ball.
Payton telegraphs that, and Maker does a good job deflecting it. For Cleveland, they've been the worst defensive team in the league each of the last 2 years. So J.B. Bickerstaff, much like Tom Thibodeau, what they've talked about in camp is improvement defensively is going to give them their chance to win against teams that have more talent.
Knicks are very stagnant right now, telegraphing their passes. They continue to be discombobulated as the Cavs will bring it up.
So a couple of turnovers for the Knicks.
We saw this, Mike, last year with the Knicks when they played home games, but it's inexplicable now because there are no fans here. so why they are tentative and apprehensive, I have no idea, folks.
Well, that first game in Detroit, as Drummond misses, Barrett the rebound, they played aggressively. They played with good defensive tenacity, and they took, as even Tom Thibodeau said, a little step backward in the second game. But it's clearly a work in progress. Spellman tries. In and out. Maker